Panic looking low, I need my pen.
Evening, everybody. Let's do a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Haywood's going to say a few words. Please stand.
Let us bow our heads in prayer, please. O Lord, our governor, bless the leaders of our land, that we may be a people at peace among ourselves and a blessing to other nations of the earth. Lord, keep this nation under your care. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in this village of Walton the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. Grant us grace that we may honor you with our substance, and remembering the account which we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your bounty through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Let's open this up to public input. Anybody have anything they want to bring forward to the board? Yes.
So this is our second time coming here and talking about our Bassett Park Silver Award project. We would like to see if there is any more news on the codes of the signs for no smoking, if there are any rules on that.
Is there anything on that, Steve? About putting them up down in the park?
Was I supposed to look into them?
Yes. They got with you after the last meeting.
Only kind of.
Only kind of.
What is it that we need to know?
We need to know if there's any codes or regulations on putting up no smoking signs inside of Bassett Park.
When we were here last, you guys weren't sure if it was like, if it was legal to do it, the no smoking, you weren't sure of the status of the park.
My gut is going to say that it's not an issue, but I'm going to have to be reminded and look into it.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be an issue. We can post whatever we want as no smoking, I believe.
Okay.
But I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
We'd also like to see if for a pet waste station for dogs or other pets that you may bring, if there's any regulations on where putting that, if there's something where we can't have it a certain distance from the road in case it's an obstacle.
There again, that's going to be another question for code. Anything on that, Steve?
Nothing off the top of my head.
Okay.
So on the 11th, if it was okay with you guys, we were going to think of planting hostas around the flagpole at Bassett Park.
Bassett Park? I don't see any problem with that. Does anybody else?
No, I think that would look nice.
I think so, too. So, yeah. You guys can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else really.
Okay. Once you hear every...
Yes. Would there anywhere be preferable for the placement of the no smoking signs or the children at play? For instance, if you want to allow smoking in the gazebo there.
I don't know. I think check with Steve and let him, I think between what the code has got to be, if there is one, and go from there. But I don't see any problem putting it anywhere as long as it's okay with code. Anybody?
I would like to start with, if you can tell me where you prefer them to be.
Definitely around the playground structures.
Could you use your poster, show them where you would like to put everything?
So the playground structures would be where the most kids are, and they'd be at the greatest risk. So we definitely like to put them there, but they also have the gazebo, which would be good to have it there if we have concerts and other activities at the park. Then if children are going to be around there anyway, we'd like to have no smoking all over the park for the benefit. But if there's somewhere that you prefer there to be or not to be, would be that.
Okay, so I guess what I would ask you to do is Very simple, draw a picture. I'm a picture guy. Draw a picture.
We didn't need a picture because we want that. So that's why
Right.
we see the picture cookie. You point to the picture where the corner where the post pet stations go.
So at the corner, I'm gonna put it over here.
Have Paige hold the poster and you can point.
Or I can hold it if you want. Either way.
So as far as along the corner of the park, we were thinking to put it at,
Steve needs.
Steve is,
Yeah, there's no good spot.
so around like behind the bench, the main bench there, and then along, by the flagpole and the street lights, we'd also like to put a few picnic tables and benches for more seating for the activities that might be hosted there. We'd like to put in, if we can get the money for it, more trash cans to prevent littering. Also more in that area or back here. And then either we would find a place to put it on one of the play structures, or we could put in posts. We are getting someone to come in and show us how to pour concrete and put in a post. So for either the pet waste station or some of the signs, like this, we're thinking about the no smoking signs and the children at play signs.
Barbecue grills too.
Yes, the barbecue grill, we'd think about putting it near the gazebo, but not too close, so that probably around the picnic benches. We'd also have to put that into the ground so it couldn't be taken.
Okay.
The funnel ball. Please remember the funnel ball game.
We are thinking about putting in some other play structures, like a funnel ball game, which we showed you a picture of last time, if you do remember, which that would most likely be behind the swing set. And around the area, we might put in a concrete pad around that for either like hopscotch or just any chalk.
Game.
Yeah, chalk drawing if they wanted to do Foursquare. That'll help it expand the age range of kids that can play there. So make it more family friendly and maybe more people could come to the events there. What other things? What other play structure? We're good? I think we're good.
That's good.
All right.
Okay. As far as like the concrete structures and stuff like that, I definitely would have you get with Steve just to make sure placement's okay and it's okay.
That's all dependent on the money there.
Okay. Okay.
Concrete
And I
is
would,
pretty far
I would still like, pictures are great, you did a great job of giving us the concept. What I need is a drawing of, here's where the playground is, here's where the streets are, here's where we want to put the various items.
After
That
this-
way I have something to go by if there is some sort of code requirement that, signpost has got to be so far from street, whatever the case may be, I have something to look at to go by.
Okay, is it time, like after this, that we can arrange a meeting with you to show you these things and you can
Yep.
talk to us about this?
Okay. Anything else, ladies?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have something, sir?
Glenn Miller, representing the library.
Yep.
And I'm here to follow up on our letter requesting permission to rehabilitate the existing bluestone sidewalk from the north end of the post office concrete sidewalk to and including the corner of North Street and Gardner Place. That's it.
Okay. I know we had talked about it and we looked it up. It was actually a year ago tomorrow.
Yep.
It was on the 4th of last year. We agreed to let you guys go ahead and do it, and as long as, you're doing the bluestone, you had permission to go ahead and do what you wanted to do with it.
I'm here at Steve's suggestions.
I wasn't 100% sure where we stood with it.
Yep, we agreed that they could do that. That was back, I said, on the 4th of June last year, and it was your ball game. I know it's over where we are, but you want to do bluestone, so
Right.
you guys chose to do it on your own, so. So you're good then.
Okay,
Sounds
thank
good.
you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
You too.
Anybody else for public input?
Tara, Walton Chamber of Commerce President. I have, I suppose, 4 items to discuss.
Okay.
One is thank you for approving the bike racks that the town, village, Delaware County Chamber, and Walton Chamber. So I'm excited about that project. I believe you guys got paperwork for concerts in the park at Bassett Park. We're doing 2 this summer.
Yes.
But I just wanted to just state, a little bit about them, or if you make sure you knew. We're hoping for June 12th to have one with still standing band, and with a rain date on the 13th, and then also on the 7th with a rain date the 8th. That's also Wednesday with 110 Whitehall Street. I feel like our times are 6 to 8 that we put down. Just hoping to get approval for that. It's been an ongoing thing, and
That was for a waiver for the fee, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we've done in the past, right? Yeah.
Do I need a motion?
Yeah, we need a motion if anybody wants to waive the fee for the 2 concerts in the park, right?
Yep.
The 2 concerts.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion made second to waive the fee. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right, thank you. And then I'm also here in regards to the flower barrels that previous were something the Walton Chamber organized, bought, owned. Maureen has more of it, but nobody seems to be aware of what is going on with them this year. They are on village property, Austin Lincoln, full of dirt and very, very full and heavy. And trying to see if the village would be any way be able to help placing them out this year, because that's something.
And so it's something that's always been done in the past. I know before what we were waiting on, we didn't have a list of where you wanted to put it. You have a list of where they want to go?
Yep.
Is that something the board wants to continue to do?
Yes.
I would move that the village helps to put those out.
And then further, I'd like to, we don't have to discuss this now, but make sure that we get these out by Memorial Day next year, or don't put them away, et cetera, but that can happen.
Okay.
Discussion on a later date, but it seemed like this year no one was in charge,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But it just needed,
Okay.
business, and I'm sure businesses were bothering you, and everyone was,
Yeah, just
So.
I see a few of them got put out, but,
yeah.
okay. As long as everybody's agreed, we'll get us the list and we will see about taking care of them again this year.
They made a motion.
I move that the village helps to put out the flower pots.
I second that.
Motion made second to put the chamber's flower pots out. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, and then last item I had on my agenda is, it was brought up at my chamber meeting, and I said I'd show up in regards to storage for the Walton Chamber. We have a shed on town property, and we're struggling with finding storage for some of our stuff, and I know Maureen's been here in the past
Yep.
asking about that, but we kind of talked a little bit about a few more concrete solutions that might be a little more than just, do you have any space? But some of those are if we bought a shed or a storage container, like the big metal things.
Yeah.
Shipping container, if that's
Shipping
something.
containers, though, aren't in the village. Are supposed to be in the village.
Oh, okay. Don't tell them. But if there would be a spot, we talked about, I think up top of like Miller Ave, that area, if there was a spot we could put storage. We were also planning on approaching a town. We have a storage unit shed there, if we could expand on that, but just, that's a more concrete idea. I know you guys don't have a building maybe per se, but you do have land that might be.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing right now is because we are going to be looking at redoing one of the village sheds buildings.
Yeah.
So we're going to be probably using some of our property for that.
Yeah.
But
So,
what we're going to be using, I'm not sure while
Yeah.
that's all tore apart. And
yep,
I want to make sure nobody's going to have anything
Yeah.
in the way or anything damaged while we're doing that. So let us talk about it and see
Yeah.
if there's a place we can do it. How big of a shed are you looking at doing?
like a 10 by 10, I feel? Yeah.
Just a 10 by 10? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
which, I mean, that's
10 by
all
14.
hinging on us procuring one of them. We hope to really work on replacing some of our Christmas decorations, which take up a lot of space. Right now, we can barely fit everything in our area. We can fit it, but as we try to, get more than it.
Okay.
So,
All right. We will be in touch
Okay.
on that part of it.
that's all I have, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else on public input?
I have a question.
Okay.
Steve, what's happening with the search for the new police chief? Anything?
it's,
I see Paul is not here tonight.
no, he might be here later, he's
Oh,
not here
okay.
maybe yet, but we have a bunch of stuff we're gonna go over with later in executive session for contract stuff.
Got it.
So
Okay,
it's,
thank
it's,
you.
it's not sitting
It's
still.
in the works.
It's in the works.
Okay.
Nothing else then, under public input? Abstracts and payments? We're not gonna be able to do any of that right at the moment. Department heads, I'm gonna go back to what our original was, seeing how Dave is here. I thought you were gonna be late, Dave, and we put you down to the bottom of the list.
Sorry about that.
Come on up.
Hello, everybody.
Judy, everybody's got a copy of the...
Yes, I put it in everybody's
Great,
mailbox.
perfect, thank you. First item on the report that Bill prepared is the...
Dave, can you keep your voice up? Thank you.
Yeah.
As much as you possibly
Yeah,
can.
I've been talking all day, so it's kind of tough right now. The wastewater treatment plant, infiltration and inflow, we know that the flows are up at the wastewater plant over the last couple of years. So in regards to that, we're looking at, we're going to plan to submit an engineering planning grant application that could be funded up to 80%. And we'll need, I think, just a simple resolution at the July meeting that says we're going to move ahead with the application. If we end up getting awarded the grant, then we'll have to do a resolution that says we're going to fund the 20%, and then we would have to do seeker, which is just a type 2 action, which is easy. But we're working on that right now. So from Jody's standpoint, there's really nothing we need to do other than we need a resolution for the July meeting that says we intend to do that. Okay. So that's great. Clarifiers, the work is underway there. When they came to install the new
Launder.
fiberglass baffle on the interior of the tank, on the exterior, what had been specified was a baffle that was 12 inches in depth in the tank, and what's actually was there was 18 inches. So they're basically needing to come back and put in different brackets to allow us to suspend a 12-inch baffle instead of an 18-inch baffle. There wasn't any drawings that showed us what it was. We talked to the manufacturers, that's what we all thought it was going to be. So the good news is at the end of the day, we're still under our budget, which was $40,000, and I think in the end it's probably better anyway because we get new hangers instead of 40-year-old hangers. So that's I don't see a downside there. But in that case, we need the village to authorize change order to the initial purchase order, which was to Advanced Fiberglass Services. That was in the amount of $24,856 to be increased by $7,624 for new support brackets for a revised contract amount of $32,480.
Okay. You need to do that, make a motion on that, we do that?
Do you
make a
anticipate,
motion.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Eric.
Do you anticipate any other sort of,
No, this is pretty straightforward. We're
Yeah.
basically just replacing, this is pretty much the end of it as far as I know.
So, yeah,
Need a motion to,
you did.
I'll second.
motion made second to go with the amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Shepherd Street, we know they have the $100,000 DASNY grant there. And the plan right now is to proceed with the soil nails on the first portion. That would be in the Trip Ave area. And I know Bill was working on an estimate, but I think it's still around the $200,000 original budget. And at this point, we're just getting some final estimates put together and then moving to go forward with that project.
Okay, and that's gonna be doing also from, we're gonna go from east to Burton also, the whole street.
That's one way.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. To go along with that, if you don't mind me interrupting you, I think now's a good time for everybody to know that we have a local law that we're going to pass, hopefully tonight, about making Shepherd Street a one-way street going south, which is from East Street to Mead. We've talked several times, and the reason for doing that is it's not a very wide street, and to get that back to a two-way street safely, you're talking millions of dollars versus a couple $100,000 to fix what we've got and to make it a one-way and do it proper. with soil nails and keep the bankment from going down. So there was already a public hearing done on this a year or so ago, and I think it's time to move forward so we can do the whole project and do it right. So I need to have somebody
I'll make a
make the
motion.
motion that we go do a one-way street and change, make a local law.
For one way.
Okay, motion made second to change the local law, so we have Shepherd Street running one way southly.
When does that become effective?
As soon as
Upon
the...
filing with the New York State. So,
Yeah, as soon as the state approves it and everything, it'll be made a one-way street.
Are you gonna post signs?
Oh yeah, there'll be signs posted.
Great.
Back to you.
Thanks.
did
Perfect.
everybody vote?
Yes.
No.
No,
We
you
didn't
just
I thought you did vote, didn't you?
No.
All right.
had a person that
All
asked a motion and a second.
Motion second on that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Steve, can I just ask a question, please? Probably for Dave, on the change to the purchase order for the wastewater treatment plant, who's paying for that? Is that New York City, or is that budgeted out of the village's budget?
That's it.
The clarifier was
20.
It's
80/20.
80/20, 80
Yeah.
village, 20 New York City.
And same question with regard to the grant. We got a $100,000 state grant for that. Do we have money in this year's budget to pay for the other half of that project, that $100,000?
Yes.
That's budgeted for. Thank you.
Great.
Back to you again, Dave.
Page 2, the CWC, a couple things with CWC. One's the Third Brook Bridge, which we know we've been working our way through that for a while, and where the feasibility study is needed to identify what needs to happen. We get a funding request into CWC to move forward with that. We've, as you know, we had some preliminary numbers prepared with some DOT people, so that's moving ahead. The floodproofing study, there's been a number of them underway. 5 places in town. We've got Danny's, the first draft of Danny's went out. They've completed inspections on the other 4, and we're working towards putting those things together. And we'll, keep you posted on that. There's potential for CWC to provide funding up to 75% for mitigation. The problem or the difficulty with us here in the village is that we're doing some assessments on buildings that are in the center of buildings. If you have a standalone building, the ease to make it flood-proofed is easier than if you're one of 3 or one of 4. So, we are looking at alternatives, and but the end result is TBD. We just don't know. But it isn't as easy as having a building where you can, isolate it and protect it. So, but there's forward motion on that, which is good. Stormwater infrastructure assessment. We're working on the application to submit to CWC for assessment of the stormwater facilities it's in the western portion of the village. Eastern portion of the village had already been done by the county a number of years ago with the GPS unit, but this would pick up the other side that would complete the assessment, which would give us a full picture of the infrastructure. And that's, they can provide funding for implementation of the upgrades. This is a fairly straightforward thing to do. And the highway garage building replacement, actually the addition, the oldest building in the highway garage complex, we're working on a floor plan, which we have pretty much developed, and a one-page summary for meeting with our state representatives in the near future. And we found out some dates today that we'll get to you. I want to say it's June 13th, which is a Thursday, for Senator Metzger.
Yeah.
And there's another date for, but that one sticks in my head.
Okay.
And I'll get them to you, but
Okay.
it's like 10 to 4. And we're working, and we talked about it at this morning's meeting, to pull that stuff together, get the one-pager, because she swings by, they meet at Delhi Village clerk office once a month. So we'll get her in this swing so we can be on the early trail here for DASNY money.
Okay, good deal.
And that's all I have, unless you have questions.
The MBTA, have we heard anything more, anything on that? Have you tried?
We've put out some feelers, but haven't heard anything.
Okay.
But I'll poke people again and just see if there's interest on that, or get some feedback on the original query.
Okay.
Great.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Mr. Dutcher.
Good evening.
How are you tonight?
Good evening.
I'm still on the side of the dirt, so. Everybody has my report? Questions on the report?
Look like you're pretty busy.
Yeah, more than busy. Just some updates on the complaint page. Just so you know where we're at. 102 North, I had a meeting scheduled with the property manager. That fell through. We're gonna get together hopefully. And I also have a separate but related inspection to be determined. I gotta get a hold of the complainant on that. Like I said, it's separate, but it's related. So I got that going on. 164 Delaware Street, he was in today, picked up permit application for both floodplain development permit and building permit. He threw up a couple of structures down there that really needed to be reviewed, probably most importantly via floodplain development stuff. So I'm working through that. 39 Gardner Place, we got a letter sent out waiting for a response from that. 44 Ogden Street, we got chickens and horses and God only knows what else up there on the corner. Had a conversation today with the tenant, and I'm still trying to track down the landlord, because the landlord is just as responsible for allowing such things to go on. I know full well she's aware of that, so working on that. I also have 111 North, I have a complaint going on there. I've got an inspection to be scheduled. Typical property maintenance stuff. Somebody's not happy with their apartment, so I'll go take a look. On a good note, Delhi Telephone Company got CO'd today, so they are free to occupy that structure and get hooked up, and I think they're looking at probably fall, having that fully functional up there, but
Yeah.
it's another step in the right direction.
Yeah, they said late summer, early fall, maybe
Yep.
they start hooking on
Yep.
the village
So,
residents, which would be great.
back to bad news. It's lawn sale season. Just so that everybody knows, and I will say this to the camera and I will say this to the reporter, putting anything on utility poles requires the board's permission. And inevitably, I go 2 or 3 times a week this time of year pulling stuff off of utility poles, lawn sale signs and the like. And I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not so bad that they put them up, but nobody ever takes them down. And pretty soon they start looking like Christmas trees. So please, don't put anything on utility poles unless you have this board's permission. Kind of on the heels of what Dave was talking about with feasibility studies, there's also 2 other residential properties that are in CWC feasibility studies and 2 other commercial properties that are in CWC feasibility studies. So that brings our total here in the village to 9, which I think is, you know, we got a lot of people out there interested in doing something to their buildings to better protect them from flood, and I think that's great.
See if we can find some way to get some funding for the 25%.
We got to try to cover the 25% because having gone through a Main Street grant in 2015 here, I was literally going door to door trying to give money away, and you just couldn't give it away because, you know, even at a cap of $25,000, people were struggling to come up with, you know, their $12,000 portion or whatever it was to try to get a project done. So I've reached out to county planning, and we're going to poke in all the corners and see what we can come up with for some additional funding to, you know, even if we can't cover the full 25%, if we can cover, you know, an additional 15% or whatever. Because some of these commercial properties, you're looking at, you know, a $100,000 bill to, for their 25% share. I mean, some of these projects are that big. So we'll keep working at it and see if we can come up with that funding, but I think it's great that people are, worst case scenario, they come out of this and they have a plan on the shelf that when they can pull the trigger, they don't have to do any more studying or whatever the case may be, because they can do the feasibility study, they can do the actual design, that's all paid for by CWC, so they can have a design on the shelf ready to go. So we'll keep moving in that
Find some money
direction.
for them so they can do it.
And back into the bad news section, I ended up issuing a stop work order to the contractor at the Armory. 2 reasons. First of all, they pulled, I'm guessing, close guesstimate of about 30 dump truck loads of gravel from behind the Armory and dumped it in the floodway down on the fairgrounds, which is like a huge no-no. And the second thing being, the reason why they're doing it is they're putting in a vehicle wash rack behind the Armory, and they're hooking into our wastewater treatment plant. I can't control the construction that goes on the Armory because that's state property. However, I can stop them from hooking to our wastewater treatment plant until they provide us numbers in terms of what kind of volume is going to be in their effluent, what kind of chemicals potentially are in there, et cetera, so that we can provide them to our operators of our wastewater treatment plant so they can decide whether or not they want to allow that to hook up. So that's where we're at with that. I'm waiting for a report from their engineer. Have not received it yet. And we have a couple of possible dates for meeting face-to-face. So once I have that report, I will get that to Dave and crew, and then we'll schedule a meeting and sit down face-to-face and make sure that we understand what we're taking from them for effluent.
Good deal.
And I think that's all I got.
Questions, anybody? With that, free to go. Let's do Jason. Let's get Jason up here. Come on up, Jason. You're the next contestant.
Jason.
Yeah, I know. I'm way off track on that, aren't I?
I chased half the audience right out of here.
I see that. You come up and everybody leaves.
Sometimes I have that effect. So everybody got my report. Was there any questions on the report? Things are pretty straightforward this month. What's that?
Seemed fairly standard.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward this month. Not a whole lot's changed. Flows are still up. We did do some I&I work with the village DPW on Liberty Street. We found some problem areas, and DPW is going to develop a plan as to what to do with them. Rags still, they are what they are, as always. I do have 3 requests for purchase this month. The first of which is a new grinder for our influent channel. That will minimize the impact the rags have on the system. We did budget for this $52,000. It's come in at $40,000. It's $12,169 savings. It's an 80% village cost, 20% New York City cost. It does have a 6 to 8 week lead time, so I'd like to move forward and at least get it ordered so we can get that thing in hopefully before it snows. So, and we can get the bill paid as well.
Can make a motion on that, anybody?
Go ahead and order that.
I'll second.
Motion made second to go ahead and order the grinder. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The second on my list is last year we ordered belts for the sludge conveyor. They sit over there. Now we need to install those belts. I'd like to get that scheduled. I am not entirely sure when I will be able to get them in there. I'm hoping for a craft shutdown time so we don't have to run the conveyor. They're looking at a 3 to 4 day downtime for our press. That's a cost of $8,250. This was a budgeted expense. That's also an 80% village and 20% city cost. I'd like to go ahead and get that scheduled.
Need a motion for that?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made second to go ahead and get the belts installed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Last but not least is to authorize Tom Ellis Heating and Refrigeration to replace the air conditioner in the Seabud control room. That one has stopped working. It's a cost of $6,000. That's a 100% city expense.
Remember you brought us through there.
It was a little warm. I remember, yeah.
I'll make a motion.
That's free. We do free.
Yeah.
Motion made
And
and
seconded.
seconded to go ahead and have the air conditioner changed out. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That's it.
That's enough.
Thank you.
It can only get better from here.
That's right. Butch is not here because it was life or death for him. It's his wife's birthday. The only thing he said that he had right at the moment was he wanted to send Keegan and Matt to the water class over in Sydney, and I think that was $25 a head. So looking for approval there.
For their recertification, right?
Yeah.
Just to keep their, yeah, to go
Continuing
with,
education
for
credits.
their licenses.
Mm-hmm.
So need to make a motion and approval for that.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Motion made second to send the two to Sydney class. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Steve,
Carried.
is that 25 per person?
Yes.
Do you know the date?
It's coming right up here,
It's
June
coming right up
something.
this
Yeah.
month.
In June?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
June.
Thank you.
The other thing that Butch wanted brought up was 17 Burton Street, the sewer hookup. They want to go ahead and do the work on that. The gentleman has paid, correct?
Yes.
He's already paid his fee for it, so we just got to approve them to go ahead and start doing the work. It's all been paid for. So I need a motion for them to,
I move that we go ahead with the work.
Second.
motion made second to go ahead and hook up the 17 Burton Street sewer hookup. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Do you want to do Brian?
That's what I was gonna say. We'll go right along with this. Go ahead with Brian. Hot seat for you now, Brian.
Good. All right, just a few more hirees on, a few more for the pool. One girl is gonna be like a supervisor also, moving her up from 11:35 to 11:50 an hour. Okay. A mower, I did find a girl applied for the mowing, and she'll be 11:10 an hour starting on June 17th.
Do you only have one mower then?
No, no Reinhardt.
No, it's gonna be the other mower?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we are set then.
Yeah, good. We're offering field hockey this year. First time. We tried it a few years ago. It was, somewhat successful, so we thought we'd give it a try. This is going to depend a lot on the participants. If we don't have many kids, she might run it 1 week. That's it. It'll be 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning, early before kids, swimming lessons. It doesn't interfere, and it's not so late in the afternoon where it's hot. So she's going to try that and see how that works out for it. It's Kylie Lammer who's going to do that. Okay. The swimming pool, or the recreation, we sent the permission slips home on the 27th and be returned on the 7th of June. This is for all our recreational activities. It was advertised in the Facebook and whatnot, so that's, hopefully we'll get enough interest in everything on that. Sign-ups for the swimming lessons will be June 11th and 12th, 5 to 7 p.m. at the pool. And non-village or town residents pay $45 per session, per person, okay? And we anticipate opening the pool on the 21st of June with limited hours for the first week due to kids with school stuff going on, and after the 28th being a full schedule. Okay. The only other thing is, Butch wanted to bring up that in cooperation with the town, the one parking lot in the Austin Lincoln, we resurfaced it with grindings and stuff. They graded it off and rolled it down. It's much, much better.
Good. I knew they were gonna be doing it. They
got it done.
squared away. Good. We just have to approve those, right? Those extra hours, or the actual changeover of the one lifeguard and then the added.
And the hires,
Yep. So I need a motion on those.
I motion that we approve the new hires and changes in salary.
A second.
Motion made second to approve all that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, I don't have any Paul yet. Trustees report.
Well, Brian just did the parks one for me.
Yep.
And the theater is going ahead with putting in the new floor at a cost of $6,000, but they're covering that. The sound system and lighting is still going in, and I will know more after tomorrow, because the meeting is tomorrow.
Okay.
I was unable to attend last month.
Okay, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Spoke with Butch the other day and brought me up to speed. The work that they were doing out there, he said it's helped with some of the drainage issues that they've been having out
Yep,
here.
one with the parking lot down in front of Danny's. I know they're happy that it's not ponding in front of their place again, but
Right. Yeah, no, he feels like he's on track with some of the issues that are facing the infrastructure here. Beyond that, don't really have anything more at this time.
okay. Mr. Doyle?
Not right now, I don't have.
Okay. Ken?
Well, as you know, we took a tour of the wastewater treatment plant, the whole board, and quite an eye-opener. I think that I spoke with Jason, and we're gonna work on possibly getting a video together, public video, to make the public more aware of what's happening by them flushing things other than toilet paper down the toilet. And I think that's really a big thing, so we can save the village some money with what's going on with having to pull these pumps. I think to see it and to see I didn't even understand until I actually saw in person what was going on and what they had to do, the amount of work that's involved in cleaning out this the flushable wipes and all these other things that are going down the toilets. So I think that's my main thing. We want to work on getting a video out for the public.
Yeah, because they have to hoist that thing all
Yeah.
the way. How many feet is that to the floor where you're?
Well, that one we don't pull all the way up out of there, but it's still we have to pull that pump up off there probably 7-8 feet so we can get the rags out of it. And then the other one is pulling it apart underneath that piping, so that's a backbreaker if you're not.
Yeah, it's heavy duty, and hundreds of pounds that two men are moving, and it's a chance of somebody getting hurt, and just a lot of wasted time, so.
And taking them apart and putting them back together
Yeah.
all the time shortens.
Wearing the parts down.
Wear and tear,
Yeah.
for sure.
We have to buy new
Yeah.
ones.
One's a $28,000 pump we're taking apart weekly, the other one's a $10,000 to a $14,000 pump we're taking apart weekly, so that definitely isn't good for things.
Yeah, and I know I had heard, in the previous meetings about this problem, and it doesn't really hit you till you see it firsthand, and I think that's what we need to do.
Inform the public a little more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. I don't have anything either. So let's go down to the support letter we need to do for the Walton Central School. They want to do flood mitigation. They're looking into a grant to do the kindergarten and second grade wing, I believe. They're just looking for a letter of support. The town has done one. And we're going to kind of do the same format as something they've done and give them a letter of support, providing it's okay with the board.
I move that we provide such a letter of support.
Sure, I second it.
Okay, motion made and seconded to do a support letter for the school. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, the next is the YMCA. They're doing a request to do a fee waiver for up to Austin Lincoln, Andy's Pavilion. We've done this in the past for them. It's a $50 fee. We're just going to waive the fee so they can use the pavilion.
I'll make a motion to waive the fee.
Second.
Motion made second to waive the fee to the YMCA. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'm sorry, is that July or August they're using that?
July.
July, thank you.
July 15, 16, 17, 18. Chamber, you've already done that. Just-
Can I,
Yep, we did
can you give them a chance, because I did forget.
You forgot something?
Oh, there was a lot of, we're working on a lot of projects.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I just wanted, I've talked to a few, I think, village board members, they've sent a lot of emails out. The Walton Chamber of Commerce and the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce and the Delaware County IDA is presenting a 1-hour info session Thursday morning at Molto from 11 to noon. So a lot of people aren't familiar with the IDA and what they can do for businesses and stuff, so.
This Thursday?
Yeah, so this Thursday at 11, I really invite anyone to be there, and I've tried to reach out to a lot of businesses and just even people that might want to be a business, to really, I think it would be a great thing, and it's really cool that we're able to get this presentation in Walton.
And to add on to that, Walton has been designated as an opportunity zone, which is unique. Not every town in Delaware County, town and village, and Walton was. So you'll find out more about that and how that can help to expand or grow businesses here in the village.
That's great.
I was just wondering if, I'm not going to be in town Thursday, but I would like to attend it, but is it going to be videoed or no?
Oh, that's a great idea. Tara and I will decide who's going to do that.
That's a great networking
Yeah, it
opportunity also.
definitely, I think it'd be a great opportunity for a lot of people,
Is the opportunity zone designated by the county or by the state?
By the state.
Okay.
And then on another note, I've been talking with the Delaware County Chamber a little bit, and it's pretty much just kind of back and forth trying to set a time, but we really want to get going on this river walk project that everyone's talks about, but nothing's been set in motion, because I know we still have a lot of construction.
Yep.
But we want to get some ideas in motion, maybe a committee together to really see what we can do and how, if we can get money, funding, we need to be ready to go when that project is done, so. I'll probably reach out at a later date, and I know, I've reached out to a few people, I know people want to help and be involved in that process, so.
Right.
But I think we can find funding and.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Get,
sure there's lots
you
of
know.
funding for stuff like that,
So,
yes.
but I just, we haven't even really met yet, but we've just talked about, like, we need to get going, I guess.
Would it be helpful for you to get sort of like an idea of what property is owned by the village along the river? Because I know some things are private, some
Yeah, I
things are
mean,
state.
that would be
I think we do a stretch, goes from
yeah, like,
up
I've
above
been
is
at some
town,
of
and it
the
goes to the village, so it's,
meetings, like I think it was Place Alliance or something, and they gave us this big, beautiful picture of our town, and we were like, no, we don't own that, no one owns that, you can't do that. It was a few years back now, and there's some great ideas put in there, but we're like, a lot of them don't fit our town, or Walton, or, we know this town, you know this town, everyone here knows, we all know Walton very well, and we know what, a lot of us have good ideas of what we want to see.
Mhm.
And I think that property's beautiful, and we need to make it,
it's going
an
to be
asset.
a nice 13 acres down there
Yeah,
to do
so,
something good with.
as that, the flood mitigation project is ending, I'd love to get on the next step of
Yeah.
that, with as much grant funding as possible. So,
Okay, thank you. All right, where did I go now?
Number 8.
Hmm?
You didn't do number 8.
No, that's right, I didn't, did I? We gotta do on 72 Bruce Street, her sewer fee reduction. What was her note?
She had a water leak. I think her hot water tank gave way, and they lost a lot of water up there. She was requesting reduction on the sewer, just like the letters that
We got in last month.
year, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna make a motion, I'm gonna make a motion to take no action.
Okay, if no action, then no
I'll
action is it.
second.
We don't need to do motion or anything for no actions gonna be taken on that.
Okay.
All right, the next one is the New Hope Church. They want to do a banner over from Delaware Street over top of, between Wayne
the
Bank
Emporium.
and the, pardon me?
From the Emporium to the
Yeah,
bank.
to the bank.
The usual spot.
Yeah, but, we can do the forum, Jody can, absolutely, but I think the attachments on the Wayne Bank were pulled away.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
That's why you guys put your banner up by the bus
Yeah,
garage.
and-
So I think probably the first thing they ought to do is check with Wayne Bank if they want to have anybody attach something to the building, or they want to do the attaching to the building, or if they don't want them to do it at all. So I think we should probably point them in that direction first.
Yeah, we should probably wait until we get permission. It's private property.
Now, they have to get the permission. All we gotta do is just the
Yeah.
permission to have it over top of the highway.
Yep.
So,
That's why there hasn't been a fair banner in town in years.
Yeah.
We're worried about our banner pulling the anchors out of the bank and us being liable, so we don't hang a banner in Walton anymore.
so we'll have to be in touch with the church and let them check with Wayne Bank and see if they want to follow that route.
What is the time, when?
It's not until September, so
Yeah.
we have some time.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing ahead, we already did the library sidewalk. I have nothing else. Does anybody else have anything else? We do need to go into executive session to, whoop. You always have questions.
Actually, I'm just hoping that you can make an announcement if what I think I saw is accurate. Water Street is now open? Is
Yes,
that-
yes,
okay, so
Water Street is open.
What is the status of what's happening down there? Can you just?
They are still pulling the rest of that dirt out of there.
Okay.
I believe it's going up on Carcass Brook. I believe. I'll know more about that on Thursday when we do the flood commission meeting.
Okay.
Um,
But the roadway is open?
The roadway's open
to
through,
traffic.
down through there on traffic, yep.
That's it, I promise.
You promised?
So I'm
You sure? All right. Yep, we're gonna have to go into executive session to discuss some police contracts. So,
I need a motion.
we need a motion.
The motion.
Motion been made
Second.
and seconded to go in executive session. Thank you all.
Bye.
Should I stick around for action to be taken out of?
I think, you know, there's only just that